In this video, I'm going to be discussing triple support and why it's a problem for the game, as well as potential solutions that I have for this issue. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Now, it comes to no surprise that triple support has been plaguing this game for a long time. So what are my solutions and what are possible fixes to this issue? So what is the first change I would do to this game? Well, in a game like Overwatch that has a role queue mode and an open queue mode, something they added to the open queue mode to stop goats from forming is to limit the amount of tanks that you can have in a game. I think they should do the same for rivals, but for support instead of tanks. Because, to be honest with you, it's really hard to try and balance the game around triple support, because you have characters like Adam, Mantis, Jeff, and those characters that are not good in double support and are, quite frankly, I mean, they're workable. Don't get me wrong. I force Mantis in double support because I just don't want to play any other thing. But it's hard to balance those characters because if you nerf them, you make them worse in double support, but and then you can buff them for triple support. But that's kind of like the main issue I have with the game. You don't really give the supports the freedom to be able to pick anyone in their roster, because some things are just objectively better, and the way that this game has moved is that you need double main support, which is a big problem that isn't really an easy fix. People like to say that Rivals and Overwatch are two different games, which I guess in that sense they are, but there's a famous saying called history repeats itself. And what is Rivals doing right now? It is speed running, and I mean speed running the issues Overwatch had in its early days, and all of that within 1 year, which is kind of crazy. But almost every single problem that we've had, support's complaining about dive, DPS complaining about too much sustain, and oh, well, let's just say there was a meta in Overwatch called GOATs where triple support pretty much ran the game for months. How long is it in Rivals before we get to a point where everyone just hates triple support? They're already hating it now, but how long will triple support stay meta? Because it is pretty much impossible to balance the game around that unless you nerf everything down, which is one of the solutions that I have. Now, why would nerfing everything be a good thing? Obviously, people will be like, well, you're gonna ruin my hero fantasy. Well, your hero fantasy is getting denied anyways because triple support is meta. And triple support is only a problem because of the amount of sustain in the game as well as the amount of damage. And you can't nerf one without the other. You cannot nerf damage without nerfing healing and vice versa. And that is because, like, let's say they add Rogue to the game and she is a off support. What are we gonna do? Is she designated to triple support only? Why are most of, or like half of the supports designated to triple support only? It is because they don't have the healing output to compete with the game's damage. And that, to me, limits the amount of support options that we have. And I think, personally, if they were to nerf everything across the board, like ult durations, increase ultimate build rates, like increase fall off damage for like over half of the DPS roster, lessen the support ult duration by a lot, maybe nerf neutral healing from the main support so that they're more in line with the off supports. Stuff like that are changes that you can make to the game to make it play better, as well as just give a better player experience for everyone involved. People like it so that they can make plays on other roles. And on DPS, I'm sure it's probably frustrating when you go in, you use all your cooldowns and nothing dies because they're just pocketing each other. And to be honest, on support, I get no satisfaction for doing that. I get no satisfaction but just holding left click on my other support, and I guess we pocket each other until someone else comes to help us. That's not satisfying for me to do. But if we look at a game like Paladins or even Overwatch, that just isn't the case. A lot of the supports are self-sustaining, or not self-sustaining, but they can fight back. They don't need their whole team to peel for them. They don't need their other support to always go and look and heal them. Yes, there'll be some cases where you obviously have to do that, but in most cases, most supports are pretty like self-sufficient, which, you know, contributes to the skill aspect on that role. For DPS, I'm sure it is very rewarding to be able to kill a backline in Overwatch because, one, not only is it harder, which means it ups the skill floor for dive characters in that game. Well, let's say I'm playing like Echo, for example, and I go dive the backline and I get a kill because I outplayed that support. I feel good about that. I don't particularly feel good in Rivals when I play Magic and I just go in and like two to three shot a support and they can't do anything about it. Because one, my abilities generate overhealth, and two, I kind of nuke them and they just can't respond. They just don't physically have the tools to be able to solo kill me. So I just go free run in the backline. To me, that's not fun, and it makes dive feel way easier and less rewarding to play for me. And I think that the game would do better if let's say they were to balance everything and make everything competitively balanced. I think the game would be in a better spot. Now, I know I'm going to get people in the comment section who are going to say, well, I don't want this game to be Overwatch. If you just want Overwatch, go play Overwatch instead. Bro, listen, there's not a single other game in this industry, especially in the hero shooter genre, that can compete with Marvel Rivals' hero update schedule. Okay, that is the reason why I play. Getting a new hero every single month is just a gold mine. But I mean, I guess it's only a gold mine if you're a DPS player, because supports and tanks get nothing. But that side tangent aside, the main reason why I play Rivals in the first place is, one, I love the Marvel IP. There are just characters I love. There's just characters I love, and I want them to get added, which is why I play. The mechanics of DPS and tank are genuinely really fun, but I cannot help but say that the game balance state right now is terrible. Fighting against triple support is not fun. Fighting or using triple support is not fun, because nothing dies, and it doesn't feel very rewarding to play. The bottom line is that in this game, you guys have pretty much designed yourself into a hole because of how oppressive you made damage in this game. It really eliminates the flexibility and like viability a lot of other supports have. Like, if you look back at the past reworks and we look at Rocket Raccoon and Jeff the Land Shark, those two characters were pretty unique, I would say, in their own right, because Rocket had his own support ult that gave damage boost, and that was the only thing it gave. And Jeff had his ult wasn't a circle of healing either, but those two characters were pretty different. But now, guess what they did? They made both of those characters have a circle of healing ult that I'm just like, bro. Granted, I'm not saying that they're better than the others or on par with the others, but all I'm saying is that they made sustain so much stronger in this game. You know why? It is because damage is also really, really high in this game. We can't just sit here and criticize the amount of healing in the game when damage is also ridiculous. If we look at the support roster in general, you know how many supports in this roster have a circle of healing ult, or effectively a circle of healing ult? 7 out of the 9 supports that we have in this game all have some type of sustain ult. If we go look at paladins, they have 13 supports and only 2 of them have like circle of healing ults, and they last 6 seconds. Overwatch, let's take a head count on the circle of healing. If you want to count, you can count Juno. We'll count Brig, Zenyatta, and I guess Lucio, and Lifeweaver. There we go. 5 out of the 12. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I would consider Juno as a circle of healing. It's more used for like pushes and stuff. But in general, that's still 5 out of like the 12. That's 7 other supports that do not have a circle of healing in this game alone. Out of the 9, there's 7 that have a healing ult or like some form of sustain ult. It's like, brother, you guys can do a lot better and make these characters shine in ways that aren't just pressing Q at the right time. But what I'm trying to get to here is that you cannot, it limits them so much when they try to release a new support character, because now they have designed themselves into a hole where every single support in the game now has to have a circle of healing for them to even be viable even as a second support. And if we look at the roster now, it's like Jeff the Land Shark was a really fun support. I was going to pick him up this season before he got reworked, but when I saw the changes in the patch notes, what they were going to do to the character, I'm like, oh, that character's dead. Well, granted, I guess he's really good now, but now he's sitting in the back holding left click on both your team and the enemy team, and pretty much AFK too. So congratulations, NetEase, you made another character sit in the back and hold left click on your team. Congratulations, you removed all the fun from Jeff. And Rocket, you nerfed his mobility, you nerfed his dash speed, his cooldown on his dashes, and then you gave him another circle of healing. It's like, okay, bro. Fantastic. Good to know that you guys cannot design any supports that do not have a circle of healing. And if they don't have a circle of healing, you just refuse to nerf anything damage-wise, because I'm going to be real with you, the thing gatekeeping cool and fun designs for supports that do not have circle of healing is the sheer amount of damage in this game. It's hard to even justify running a second support that doesn't have as much healing in a double support setup because of the just sheer amount of damage in the game. Yes, sometimes you can get away with it if you have a team that knows how to play cover, but let's be real right now, most of your teammates don't know how to do that. So that is why they are currently in a rut and a design hole, because now when they add rogue or whatever future support that they add to the game, if they don't have a defensive ult and they don't have like strong mid-fight healing, unfortunately that character is just not going to be that great because of how they designed these supports in this game. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section. I would love to hear what you guys think and what solutions you would have to fix the triple support problem. But yeah, these are just some thoughts I had on why triple support is a problem, what they could do to potentially fix it. That being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.